Core wounds are things that many people experience but aren't necessarily always aware of. Today, we're going to be addressing the second of the 5 core wounds outlined in the Lise Bourbeau book, Heal Your Wounds and Find Your True Self. Hello, fabulous. I hope today is treating you kindly. We're going to continue on our core wounds journey by addressing the second of the 5 core wounds, which is abandonment. So the information that I'm presenting on today can be located in this wonderful book by Lise Bourbeau, a French author, who talks about the 5 core wounds and how they impact us moving forward in life. So Heal Your Wounds and Find Your True Self. I'll link it in the description below in case you need it. And today we're going to go over the second of the core wounds. So this is abandonment that we're going to be exploring today. Abandonment is often confused or used synonymously with the first core wound, which is that of rejection. If you haven't already seen that video, I'll link it in the description below so that you have access to it. So the difference between the core wound of rejection versus the core wound of abandonment is it's 2 things. So the core wound of rejection actually develops very, very early on. It can develop as early as conception, whereas the core wound of abandonment can develop in early childhood, like somewhere between the range of like 1 to 2 years. Sometimes it might even be as early as 6 months. But the difference between the two is that rejection is that I don't want you to exist. I don't want to be a part of your life. I don't even want you to be here. Whereas abandonment is I'm choosing something other than you. I'm choosing another level of engagement rather than being with you, which is a subtle but very distinct difference. So an example of how this core wound of abandonment can develop is, for example, when a kiddo is, brand new, little bitty, and they spend a lot of time with their parents, and then maybe someone, perhaps the primary parental caregiver, has to go back to work, or there's something that changes in their environment, then that little feels as though something else has taken precedent over them versus, them being the primary priority. They don't understand that the parent has to go back to work in order to be able to afford to continue to care for the child. That's way too complex a concept for them to understand. And so they feel as though they've been abandoned. So if they feel as though they've been left behind, or there's some kind of separation or distance between them and the parent, then they're going to potentially experience that core wound of abandonment, feeling as though they've been left behind. And again, it is possible to experience multiple core wounds simultaneously. So an individual can have both the core wound of rejection, which is the first one that we went over, or, potentially abandonment, or any combination of the 5 that we have to go over. As with rejection, people who are experiencing the core wound of abandonment develop a mask or a way of coping with that feeling of being abandoned. And what this mask looks like for people experiencing abandonment is they protect themselves, or they're trying to protect themselves from experiencing even more abandonment, feeling more like they're being left behind, or something else is being placed in greater importance than spending time with them, or being with them, or engaging with them. So that mask is that of dependency. Dependency is where if I need you, you can't leave me. So I'm sure you've experienced some of this in various degrees. Like when a child is little, they need you, right? They need the parent to be present and tend to all of their needs. But when we're older and we don't recognize that we have this core wound of abandonment, maybe we're feeling as though we've been left behind or not prioritized for whatever reason. It's not bad, it's not wrong. We can potentially cope with that by becoming either extremely dependent ourselves, needing others to fulfill our needs on some level, or creating opportunities for others to be dependent upon us. Because if somebody needs us, then they can't leave us. They can't not prioritize us because we're needed. So it can kind of go both ways, which is very, very interesting. So again, this is serving to protect oneself from feeling alone or feeling like they've been left behind or not prioritized. So again, this is completely subconscious. We are not aware that we are doing these things. So what we're starting to do now is bring awareness to the fact that there may be some experiences where we feel as though we've been abandoned. And of course, as with the core wound of rejection, there are physical symptoms or physical signs that you can look for because your body never lies, right? Your body's going to tell you if you're experiencing a core wound. So even if this maybe sort of resonates with you, you can always look to your physical body to tell you whether or not this is something that you're actually experiencing. So for individuals who are experiencing the core wound of rejection, you're going to see a lack of muscle tone. Like things look kind of floppy or saggy, like they might have a kind of a slumped over sort of posture. Everything feels very heavy. They might have really, really big, kind of sad looking eyes, like the puppy dog eyes. There could be just an expression of like a downturned expression, kind of not quite like a frown necessarily, but just like everything feels very drawn and very pulled down. And again, each individual is going to express this differently within their body. There may only be certain areas that are impacted by this core wound. So there may be only specific body parts, like maybe your arms have a lack of tone, or maybe you've got a hunched shoulder, but everything else, is perfectly fine. So again, each individual is going to manifest differently. There's no wrong way. It's just something that we can do to bring awareness to this experience within our bodies. So now that you have a little bit of an understanding of the core wound, what to look for, where it comes from, we're going to start to work on supporting ourselves if this is something that we experience. Again, no judgment at all. We are bringing awareness, conscious level awareness to these wounds that we've carried for a long time so that we can begin to support ourselves in healing. There is absolutely nothing wrong with not knowing that you have something that needs a little bit of healing or needs a bit of love or support or attention. So to help us out with that, there's a very specific, lovely blend of essential oils that I have handy here that support with the opposite of abandonment, which for me is companionship. So really supporting ourselves and feeling companioned, not just by others, but within ourselves, which is truly important. So we have lovely bergamot here, which is a beautiful citrus oil. And this is also great for supporting us in being courageous. And my Ylang oil, which is a little bit difficult to open. That is also another beautiful oil, helps to support our souls, our core being in being companioned. My Neroli oil is a little bit difficult to open as well. I only have this as a roller, so I have to normally I'd have these all mixed up, but that's not how this is working today. So all of these lovelies. Just going to breathe that in on your behalf, kind of rub it in. I'll leave a link in the description below for these essential oils if you want them. I'm going to run them in my hair because hair makes an excellent diffuser. So that way I have this lovely fragrance of these amazing essential oils like all together and surrounding me during this experience. So let's go ahead and begin our healing session around the core wound of abandonment. I'd like to invite you to close the eyes or soften the gaze. Go ahead and allow your body to relax comfortably into the surface that you're resting on. Take note of any discomfort or tension within the body.
or any areas where you notice that perhaps your body is exhibiting signs and symptoms of experiencing the core wound of abandonment. Let's just allow space for those to be there. Allow space for acceptance. Let's just release any judgment, any attachment to any judgment that we may have about this experience. It's okay. You're just doing the best you can. Take a nice deep breath and allow yourself to exhale. Let's pay attention to those areas within the body, maybe where we feel as though there may be signs or symptoms of that core wound of abandonment. Let's visualize, experience, feel a beautiful ball of glowing light. It can be any size, any shape, any color, any level of brightness or temperature that you desire. Just create that beautiful ball of light in your hands. And when it's just perfect for you, go ahead and place that ball over the area or areas of your body in which you notice some activation, some signs that your body is saying, this is where I experience abandonment. And just allow that beautiful ball to permeate the body within those areas. You can address one at a time, or simply place the ball over heart center and allow it to melt into the body, knowing and trusting that the beautiful energy will go where it needs to go. Allow yourself the experience of sitting with yourself, the younger version of you. If you can identify the age at which you felt or first experienced the sensation of abandonment, that's okay. Sit with that child. If you don't recall or don't know, it's okay. Your soul knows. Whatever experience you have is perfectly acceptable for you. Seat yourself either next to your younger self, or maybe if it's aligned, you can take your younger self into your lap and sit together for a moment. If you need to bring some gentle movement, like a rocking sensation, you can do that as well. Whatever feels aligned for you, that's exactly what you need. As you sit with your younger self, you may bring some things to mind, some incidents where you may have experienced the core wound of abandonment. Sit with your younger self so that you, together as an adult, with this smaller version of you, who maybe didn't understand or didn't know, just create space for acceptance. If it feels aligned, say whatever comes to mind to this younger version of you. I'm sorry you felt this way. I'm sorry that we didn't understand at the time. I'm so sorry this happened. I'm right here with you right now. I'm right here. I will be with you. It's okay to feel pain because of this experience. You didn't do anything wrong. This isn't your fault. It's okay to be here. It's okay to feel what you feel. And allow any emotions that come up to just be. Express those as you feel comfortable and as feels aligned, knowing that you have created this safe space for both your adult self and your younger self, where you are now, where you were then. Just allow yourself space to be. You're doing a great job. I am so proud of you for choosing to do this work. And as you sit with your younger self, maybe holding hands, maybe your younger self is seated in your adult lap, maybe you're rocking together, maybe you're just existing side by side or one in front of the other. If you are willing, if you can join hands or hold your hands out together, palms facing up, let's again return to our beautiful orb of light. And this time, as we fill this orb with love and light and healing energy, let us also hold space for forgiveness. Forgiveness for those who may have abandoned us, whether in reality or just in perception, it does not matter. Let us also hold space for forgiveness for ourselves. It's not okay that this happened, but it's okay for us to be here. It's okay that we didn't know. It's okay to need healing. It is safe to heal. It is safe to allow space for this to be. And as you collectively take this beautiful orb of light, carrying healing and companionship for self, forgiveness, and honoring of yourself, observe this beautiful ball that both your current self and your younger self have made together. Observe in equal measure this beautiful orb melting into heart center. Both of you get to experience that healing sensation melting into the core of your being at the same time. Notice how that feels. Notice any changes in your body from when we first started. Notice any thoughts that come up. Notice any emotions that you experience, knowing there is room for all of them. Knowing that you are safe. Knowing that you are accepted. Knowing that you are companioned, not just by yourself in this moment, your current self, and all previous versions of yourself, but also by all that is. The divine, spirit, God, whatever you choose to call it, all that is, sits with you now. Honoring this space that you hold for healing and all of this amazing potential that you hold within your being for all versions of yourself. Just allow that to be there for a moment. Breathe that in and notice how you feel. Feels alive, take your younger self into your arms and give yourself a warm hug, heart center to heart center, knowing that you will always be together, always be companioned in whatever you feel, knowing that all versions of yourself desire what is highest and best for you. All versions of yourself are fully supported and loved by all that is. And as feels aligned, I invite you to begin to bring some movement into the fingers and toes. Maybe move that head from side to side. Stretch as you feel that you need to, as feels aligned. And begin to open your eyes to return to this space and this time. Welcome back. I hope that that was helpful and supportive to you. As always, please be sure to drink plenty of water and be gentle with yourself in the coming days. I know that this is a lot of heavy lifting. It may feel very intense. There may be emotions that come up or thoughts or different kinds of things that you may need to process in the coming future. This is all perfectly normal, perfectly natural, and this is just part of what we do to heal. So be gentle with yourself. Just hold space for that healing to take place within your being. Know that these types of things take time. Core wounds are very, very deep and therefore take a good long time to heal. They may not heal completely, so please, please don't feel pressured to think that this is a one and done, or if I'm not fixed, then all is not right with the world. There's nothing wrong with you. This is just part of this human experience that we all have. If this has been helpful to you, please, please leave a comment below. Also, if you haven't already, please do like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to stay up to date on all of my current content. There will be more of these sessions to come as we go through all 5 of the core wounds. Also, please, please do share this video with those that you think might also benefit. My goal is that we can spread the healing far and wide so that everyone can feel as supported and loved as they truly, truly are. So thank you with glitter on it for hanging out with me today. I so very much appreciate it, and you have a sparkly rest of your day.